almost got that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Brian got a bear the other day up by the hunting club. Ran right into the side of his truck.
You're kidding.
Seriously. Ran right into a pile, drove it right into the side of it.
Wow.
But luckily it was the side he hit with a tree, so.
Didn't do much damage.
I was like, I'll just go on the same estimate, it doesn't matter, same spot.
Due to the bear, isn't it?
He said it was limping pretty good and it ran back in the woods. He called the DEC, but it didn't really seem to.
It's 5:30, let's get this show on the road. Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here,
You're grudgingly here, right? Everything's here.
Falls on.
I'm not on crutches anyway.
Mike's here.
Here.
Tom? Michelle?
Here.
Steve?
Yes.
Open a public hearing for the increasing the qualifying income for seniors. Exemption.
All right. The hearing is open. Can we have two open at the same time?
Well, let's hear, is it anybody wish to speak? Apparently there's nobody here to speak. So concurrentently, why don't we open the second public hearing, which is a moratorium against the application for siting a nuclear power plant or a large data center within the town of Gregg.
I have to ask a question. Is it actually a moratorium against? Because the ad in the paper said it was there to block these, and I didn't really think that's what we were doing necessarily.
What's the legal?
I don't know, are we
Do we have an
blocking with the
application for
moratorium? Is that what we're
moratorium?
actually doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's just, moratorium is just temporary, that's, but.
right, but I mean, it's when you, it just seemed to me that by putting the word block in there, we're kind of taking a position on it
That
individually.
was a word I chose when I wrote.
I figured that, but I'm asking the question.
I don't know.
I didn't, it's maybe not the most artful word to say block, but I would interpret it, I mean,
Did it use the word moratorium at least?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Then I think I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's not permanent. Okay, so we have two public hearings open.
Anybody choose to speak about that?
And it may be that our moratorium is superseded by the state that's considering signing is a 12-month moratorium? It's a moratorium on data centers in New York State,
Not on nuclear power.
but not on nuclear power. Okay. Well, minutes approval. We'll leave the public hearing open a little bit. Some people are notoriously late coming to meetings. Did anybody have any corrections to the minutes from May?
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Wyatt, would you like to do your report?
Sure. The village of Black River was voted in at their last board meeting. There are 7 students that participated in a CSS AP field trip on the 21st of May. A Loudville student came to the RACOG to discuss it with them, and they talked about how next year they were planning to bring the entirety of their student council along and help support and fund a little bit of that. They're going to be presented to it 2 days ago. The RACOG strategic plan was adopted at their last board meeting. West Carthage and Champion have started their process for their comprehensive plan. The village of Carthage got a grant to help with the signage for walking trails, story walk, and updating a kiosk. And just minor changes that he's setting up with their website and this report.
Okay. Any questions for Wyatt? Sir, Alan?
Yes, sir. All right, good evening, folks. Going through the assessor report. The data collection project is going on slowly. We're kind of concentrating on Watson right now, but Watson is going to be completed by probably August, and then we're going to be focusing on Greg. So I say Watson because I'll be doing the rebound on Watson first before Greg. And so that's the new number, or those are the new numbers for the data collection project. From 2 through 7, those values aren't going to change until the final roll is published July 1st. And then once the final roll becomes published, then everything will be updated in my system, and then I'll update these numbers here. If there's any, if there are any numbers you want to see here, if you're interested in any other specific data, just let me know. I'll throw it on the report, as always. And also, yes, I have been putting in new data. So next year you're gonna, or next roll year, July 1st, you're gonna see the newest stuff on here. Any questions about that?
Just the way this is noted here, like in number 3, town parcel count.
Mhm.
It says no change, so that's no change from the last report.
No change from the last report.
Okay.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
same thing with these values.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, because those values will change month to month as I, reassess property, or not reassess, but assess properties because of permits and splits and combos and whatnot. Right? So these numbers are constantly dynamic.
Okay, thank you.
And as well as the permits, I've added probably 15 more permits to this. So that's actually gonna go up higher. And I won't be in the office from 26th June to the 24th of July. I'll be traveling west and out of the country for a little bit. But I did buy a Starlink, so if anyone needs to get a hold of me, you can. And when I am available, and I'll be able to do works because I'm bringing my laptops from all the towns as well. So I'll be able to
Working vacation, huh?
I'm also doing rebounds. so I will be available for people, but it is a slow, this period here is a slow period for property owners and myself. It's time to catch a breather from all the grievance and then get back into it again. So, but I will be available for you guys and property owners. In grievance day, we had 8 people grieve. 4 of them I stipulated with. And the reason why I stipulated with those is because some of the square feet was off. So they dropped off plans and so on and so forth. So they clarified like some of the interior wasn't up to, wasn't up to what I thought it was. So, and they provided pictures and whatnot. So that's pretty much it. And one of them was, So anyways, any questions about that?
I have one question. Any of the software on your laptops controlled?
Is any of the software on my laptop controlled?
Just something for you to think about and make sure it's not.
Control.
Yes,
Like-
because certain software can't leave the country, or you might need to register it or something. I know when I traveled, because of working for the defense industry, there was some, even stuff you thought was pretty innocuous.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I wouldn't think it's an accounting kind of like, and just something, again,
right.
not
Something to
worth
think
the
about.
discussion here, just
Yeah.
something for you to think about. I don't know what else
You
you
get
might have.
challenged by the,
Oh, you've got to fill out a report and tell them what software is on your computer. You have to have a backup.
Yeah.
So that if your computer gets stolen, they know what information was lost. Your hard drive should be encrypted. I mean, there's all kinds of crap. And like, some of the Microsoft products are,
Really?
yeah, they're what's the right term now? they're not ITAR, or whatever the other one down from ITAR is. They're not international trafficking in arms regulated, but there's another one there. So anyway, just something to think about.
Yeah, I'll get with the county IT to see what they say
that's all
about that, yeah.
I had asked Candy if she could get me the roll going back, 10, 20 years, whatever she could, so that I could sort it based on the address where the person lived. And I could kind of maybe, a little bit of time, figure out whether we're having more outside people buying property in Branningham, or not in Gregg, just to get a sense of whether that's really true or not.
I'd probably have 10 years of the digital data. Yeah.
Yeah, but she said she'd have to wait until after probably July the 1st, I think.
Right. Yeah, I was in her office, I believe on Monday, this past Monday, and we were talking about, just that, about how many people, not just within the town of Gregg, but also other towns, to see how many, corporations or whatever are buying up properties and get that, determination, trying to be more discerning about that. Yeah.
So I figured every 10 years maybe that look and see.
Does she have any feel about corporate purchases?
She did. I think she's locking down some numbers, but I think I think she's gonna wait for another couple of weeks. Yeah, she was working on the ratios when I was there Monday.
What does she hope to gain, or should anybody hope to gain
It's
from that?
just more so informational, I think, right now at this point. So, because there's nothing, honestly, there's nothing legally we can do. I still, as an assessor, still have to value the property as is. I can't just arbitrarily start adding stuff, adding value to a property because of homeowner lives outside of the state or a corporation owns it. So, matter of fact, goes a lot harder because you have corporate lawyers and whatnot involved. And they typically have deeper pockets.
Okay, well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Would you like to give your second to the last update?
Sure. I emailed Bob earlier, with the Zelensky case, the scheduling order. So we have motions due on June 23rd, and then the town will have 2 weeks to reply to the motions, taking it to July 7th, and then the settlement conference on the 29th. So we'll have to figure out just what we're gonna do with that.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else had any questions for me on that or on anything else, but.
What happened, was the county dealing with that property out, what's his name, out there past the Bliss Road on the Independence?
Bender, right?
Yeah, I talked to John Rose about it a while ago, and basically they're not issuing him a building permit. Obviously. So nothing's been done beyond that. So he won't be able to insure the property. He will never be able to mortgage it or sell it. It's basically unmarketable. That was the last that I'd heard from them. That we could bring violations against him under our zoning law too, if we wanted to.
That would be up to the county, because I think we found out about that after the county took over.
Well, so I had some back and forth with Tim Hunt, and I don't remember if I mentioned this. This was months ago, and they were sort of waiting on us to do something on the zoning end. They didn't want it. The county doesn't want to take any enforcement action under building and codes. Now, when it comes to zoning, that's still the town's responsibility. They're just the ones who handle the zoning for us. It still falls back to the town attorney to prosecute any matters if the town board wanted to authorize that.
So even though he built a building without building permits, they don't want to go after him.
Right.
Well, the building permit part would be the county's, so.
Right, yeah. Right, correct.
If he chooses to live there for years and years and years.
Well, and a private buyer could buy it for cash.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think ideally what would have happened is you would have had a responsible contractor who would have come to the county to apply for building codes. They would have seen that it violates local zoning. They never would have issued it. and they would have issued a stop work order at that point, and then nothing would have been built. But I guess he built it himself, or he was
Yeah.
going through a contractor who didn't care that there wasn't a building permit, because you're supposed to have all of that stuff lined up before you even begin substantial construction on the property, so. That's where that's at. If the town wanted to, I mean, you have options available. You could prosecute him for violating, just like we've done with these other matters. You could go after pennies for violating local zoning, or you could go through Supreme Court to get some kind of order from the court, ordering, thinking to the Brown case as an example of that. The judge was never going to issue an order to tear down a non-compliant garage. We were repeatedly directed to go back into settlement conference to try to reach some kind of resolution. So whether you could actually get a judge to order him to tear down his house, that would be difficult.
Yeah, and that's not my desire to necessarily have him tear it down, but boy, it just seems like something ought to happen.
It's such a blatant violation though, like the house, it's,
Yeah.
it's not even close. Like the Brown case, we could at least say, okay, there's some flexibility. It was just a bathroom within a garage. He's got cancer. Okay, we can work with that. But this is just a blatant violation.
We're gonna build a whole house
Yeah.
without any permits or any approvals, and nobody's gonna do anything
What
about it.
kind of precedence does that set for
Yeah,
everybody else?
That's what I mean.
I think though,
Well-
being that we know nothing about it and how it's constructed, we've got to assume that it's the best of everything, and that would be reflected in the assessment then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Getting his
Well-
money, that's what it comes down to.
So I have a girl that works at the store right now. They bought a house, first home. They're very naive, like don't know how this all works and whatever. Septic wasn't up to code. It's built on containers, which is obviously not okay, but the guy did all the work himself, and after it was done, and now they're incurring buku expense to try to make it right. They actually had a period of time where no one would insure it. And I mean, they didn't do it maliciously or anything. Like they went into, this is our first home. This is supposed to be a great experience, and it's turned into an abomination pretty much. So that's like, yeah, you could probably get a buyer, but is it going to be like, that's who I think of in a situation like that, and someone else is going to pay the price for maybe the septic isn't up to code, maybe the floors aren't up to code, like, oh, you buy this house, you're supposed to be all excited about it, and then by the end of it, you're like.
So I'm guessing that there was no certificate of occupancy. So that's something that I would say that their attorney who handled the
Well,
closing should have. found out for
I
them.
told her, I said, I'm pretty sure when I bought my house that there was a letter that said, I'm selling you this house under like that I've disclosed everything that I know of that's wrong with it. I'm pretty sure that was some kind of certificate in there. I'm not sure on the verbiage, but it was something along those lines. So basically, if I found something that was known about that was completely wrong, I could go back and like talk to them about fixing it, or like we can come to some mutual understanding. But I'm like, I don't think you have to take that laying down. I think there's avenues against it. But I mean, this guy, if he just sells it cash to someone and it's their first house and they know no better and it looks nice. I mean, to look at this house hers, it's cute. It's adorable. I would be ecstatic if that was my first house, until we started peeling off the layers and found out everything else that was not cool and okay. But I mean, I don't feel like we should just leave it, because what if some poor person comes in that situation and knows no better, they're naive, it's their first experience or whatever, and now they got a mess.
Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, it might be beautiful. I mean, I don't know if it might have.
Yeah,
I've seen it from the outside, but I don't get that close to it.
Right.
But, either he's gonna live there laughing at us the whole time he's there, or he'll turn around, somebody from out of town would jump all over this. It's a great, way out, remote, dead-end spot on the river that he could probably market for a pretty penny if he wanted to. And I'm sure somebody would buy it. They would care less if he didn't have the paperwork. But
Could that person then, since no CO was ever issued, could that person get insurance and a mortgage? I mean.
Just thinking, if it's a cash deal sold as is, then yeah, theoretically, there's nothing stopping him from selling it, but who buys homes like that, I guess, unless you're wealthy.
It's becoming more common
I'm in
though.
here doing that.
Yeah.
But they usually, I don't know, my thinking is if you're at that point of life where you can afford it, you're gonna demand to see, that it's been, that there's a CO in it.
Right.
But even at this point, if the present owner did agree, it's okay, I'm gonna get my building permit for this and, we're gonna get everything straightened out the way it is. No building inspector is going to approve that whole place because they can't see it. Would he be willing to tear down interior walls so they can see what the framing looks like? They can see what the insulation looks like, so an electrical inspector has access to all the rough wiring? They're not gonna do it. And just because they got a permit doesn't mean they're gonna get a CO from the codes office, because they'd be crazy to give it to them. That's why they're always, people that are building things are always encouraged to be sure to call before you continue any further than this point, because the inspector needs to be given the opportunity to see it. And there are municipalities that they're real strict on stuff like that, and they'll make them open the walls up and expose it so they can see it.
So, sounds like you guys want to put that on our list of things to
I just
pursue in
don't like
court.
the idea that somebody goes out and builds a whole place.
I don't like it either.
Gets away with it.
Puts it on Facebook and we think, oh, what a clown, and then it's like, well,
Especially with the
who's
building we
clowning
got
who
going
now?
on and coming out to the town of Gregg, like.
I agree, but I think we gotta pick our battles. And that's a battle I don't think there's gonna be any winner.
I will say, I haven't spoken with him personally, but from what I've heard from county codes, he realizes he's messed up. That he's now got this property on his hands that he'll never be able to do anything with. So it's not like it's completely like he's gotten away scot-free. He didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't bother to ask. And then when the county approached him to try to work something out, he got hostile with them, but he's not in a good position. And
What planet does he live in? He didn't know he needed a building permit? Come on.
It's a sign when you enter the towns,
This isn't 50 years ago. I mean, everybody knows you need a building permit, for God's sakes. I don't buy that.
No, I don't either.
Maybe he never realized that he wouldn't be able to, do anything with it or sell it. He thought he could get insurance and there.
They thought he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that in a way that they wouldn't insure it, but I know they shouldn't insure it.
Yeah.
Because one of the
don't
biggest
know.
drivers of the whole codes program is insurance companies.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, you're going to be giving me written instructions on how to continue to pursue the one case where the person has been found guilty but has done nothing, and we're going to continue to present him with appearance tickets, and hopefully the judge will start finding him at the higher level for every week that he's in non-compliance, and that will help. And the Zelensky case you mentioned, who knows what's going to happen with that, but we'll do the same thing there, and once we get that rolling, we can try the same thing with Bender too.
Yeah.
To say, hey, you built a building without a zoning permit, you're in violation.
And you're still in violations. I don't know, people seem to respond to things when it amounts to you getting their money.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, what else would they
I think,
respond
we got to see if this works with the one case we have, and then we'll continue that approach on other cases as they come up, and nickel and dime them if that's what we have to do. Especially if you're saying it's unlikely that Supreme Court would have them tear down the house.
Just based on our experience with the Brown case and kind of where Judge Merrill was on that, I think it was and that may have been a closer case, honestly, because there were some issues with the issuance of permits and things like that.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay. So you're transitioning to your new role July 13th.
Yes, yeah, and on that, I want to thank all of you for the last, I guess it's been a few years now since I came on as town attorney. I really appreciated it. I told Bob back when Joan had retired and they advertised the job that I was going to apply for it, just to kind of have that out there. And then I just found out Friday that they made an offer, which I've accepted. So I'll be stepping up to the role as county attorney. But I will keep records of all my files and everything like that. I just can't do any legal work, but if there's anything, we talked about getting a list of potential attorneys. I've spoken with some other local people who are looking to take on more municipal work. So I'll do whatever I can to try to assist with the transition.
They'll give you that list.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So that's something we gotta move on at our
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah, and I know it's a very tight turnaround. It's gonna be a whirlwind the next month trying to get all my files wrapped up, but I'm definitely very grateful for the chance I've had to serve here for the town.
Yeah.
I hate to see you go, but
Yeah, you see, you know, but
congratulations.
you gotta take that opportunity.
I know,
That's
yeah.
a good place.
I'll still be
For you to
working
be.
with you because I need to be my
Yeah.
attorney through the Solar Water.
Oh, yeah, I'll still be around. You'll just see me in a different.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be zoning matters. I'll be working with whoever you hire, to assist with that as much as I can, so. The county's got a hand in that now. So.
John's got kind of a nice office there. So
It is a nice office,
it's good, hidden away back in the corner and nobody gets past the receptionist.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I will gavel the public hearing for the income level change to qualify for the senior exemption and the moratorium on nuclear power plants and large data centers closed. Don't see the public here, so no comments from the public. So at this point, I need a motion to adopt that local law 2026-02 to raise the income level for senior exemptions. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to pass the local law 2026-03, which is the moratorium on nuclear power plants and large data centers.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Status of the zoning law rework project. So we had a meeting between John Durowitz, that we know from Labella, who did the comprehensive plan effort, and Lauren Table at the county, who was doing the admin for us for this grant, and discussed meetings and how many people under committee, et cetera. And I do have a motion in front of you all. Right? Yes. Even nice, I made myself a copy, but that's okay. Listing the people who volunteered to be on the committee. We have a couple of couples, and if we more, we couched it with them as, thought we're going to be voting and they get 2 votes, but it's the idea is that if one can't make it, the other one will make it. They're both interested.
So they're alternates then, or they're bona fide members?
They're all members. But we won't count it against them if one of them doesn't show up at a meeting and the other one does.
We're gonna give her 2 votes then?
No.
Proxy voting.
And we talked about that with John. He goes, no, there'll be no voting will be going on. And so we got past that. And then Judy Wilson and Brenda are going to be the planning board members. And as you know, by law, we have to have at least 1 planning board member as part of the zoning law rewrite. And Jim was anointed by the zoning board of appeals to represent us. So I just need a motion to approve these people as being on the zoning advisory committee, zoning law advisory, and we're trying to come up with a good acronym. ZLAC doesn't sound that exciting.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Sounds like a medicine.
ZLAC?
Do you have a commercial for that?
ZAC,
I'll
zoning
make a
advisory
motion.
committee is probably better. I was trying to come up with committee for the
ZAB. Great. Administrative changes in
Oh,
zoning
Zach.
laws.
You have to start with the
Zoning advisory
acronym and then come up with.
But I like that.
all right, so
Zach.
can I have a motion to?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Was that Tim Peterson, who's also the chair of the Development Corporation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just his last name is spelled SEN, just so you know.
Okay.
I would know that because I've spelled it wrong before.
Oh, yeah.
Is he still in that position?
President.
Okay.
Okay, so first meeting, I believe it is June the 23rd. Monthly meetings, we're still shooting for a 10-month closeout, which would put it, let's see, April, end of April of next year.
They're gonna be held here.
Yeah, we'll probably do a virtual as well as an in-person.
Because I'm getting groups asking for the room.
Right.
Okay.
Most of the time they'll be, kind of the 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock kind of thing. Status of open grant applications. I was in error about which grant, well, we did not get the T-Mobile grant. That was to build the gazebo or wayfinding gazebo. It wasn't the one with the fitness equipment geared toward seniors. So I'm still waiting to hear from that. That's the Iroquois Gas grant that I'm waiting to hear from. And I told you I got an email from the admin at Iroquois Gas. No. So I submitted everything, and a couple of weeks later, I get this email saying, we gave you a grant in 2020 and you never sent us a closeout report as required by the grant. And it usually contains pictures and shows the sign acknowledging Iroquois and what you actually did. And I responded back, well, I wasn't aware of it since I'm new to this. I said, I suspect it was never closed out because there was some difficulty getting 2 of the pieces of equipment installed. And so it was never finalized. I said, but we were able to get the 2 pieces installed. And I happened to have some pictures because of that playground grant. We had to take pictures. My wife had taken some pictures, so we were able to send the pictures in, and she wrote back, perfect. So.
Yeah, the Iroquois sign on and everything, or what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm hoping that's a positive indication that we might get that grant. We've heard nothing with respect to the playground grant itself. That was, again, they had targeted 22 May as the announcement date, but there was no state budget at that time.
Yeah, everything's gonna be pushed back.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Unfortunately, the New York Plays grant, that's the one with the 20% match that we talked about last month. That application is due the 13th. Yeah, and I'm not gonna get it in. There's too much to change to get it in for that one. So if we don't get this first one, we'll just have to try again next year.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
Could we also, what's the dollar value on that?
About 181,000.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
We're gonna pony up your time.
No, I was gonna say we can look at Pratt Northern, but I don't think they have that kind of money. So-
No, but they had said they'd be willing to help us with our match.
Right, yeah.
So,
A whole different figure than the 100.
right. Do you wish us to adopt a policy for exact cash?
No.
All right, we'll ignore that. County EMS services. So there was the county enacted or conducted a study. They hired a consultant to see what should be done about EMS services in the county, since the number of volunteers is falling off. And Lewis County Search and Rescue had put together a plan that's basically said they would take over for the whole county. They would have paid staff. The number that was offered that each town would need to pony up was a very large number. And so it was said, well, that's nice, but we don't really like that because of the number. And let's wait for the county study to be done before we actually do anything. There was a meeting on the 28th, which you attended for us. Go for it.
So they had presented a couple of other different options, and I have to remind myself what those options were. But a lot of it was focused on, okay, these options are going to be co-located with the Lewis County General Hospital, not outside at search and rescue. And the purpose is not to add a full-time equivalent to responses to 911, but to transports, because
Right.
transports was the biggest thing. Transports is, I can tell you myself, my mother was lifted to Albany because we were gonna wait a day and a half for an ambulance. And she wasn't it wasn't an accident that was that critical, but it just seemed like a bit much. We couldn't go to Syracuse, we couldn't go anywhere closer. So they had to airlift her because they didn't have an ambulance to take her to Albany. Wow. And I know I've waited, I've had a friend sitting there waiting for a day and a half before her transport. So I can understand that, but there was a lot of contention. I did not know how much contention there was between the search and rescue options and the options to have the location with Lewis County General. And there was also issues with, like Osceola had brought up, well, if we're gonna pay the same amount of rate and then you're gonna be at the Lewis County General, in 42 minutes to get to Osceola, why am I gonna be paying money into you as opposed to Camden where I can get service in 20 minutes? So, there was a lot of back and forth and, different prices. The first option was, let me get my glasses. 1.7 million. 1.7 million. Billing revenue was 930,000. The gap of 850,000. Let's see. That would be 18 full-time equivalents. I'm assuming hours. Sorry that I don't know, I kind of just popped in on this. So I'm like, I don't know.
I might be able to fill in some things, because
Okay.
I did watch the replay.
Okay.
Somebody sent out a link for the replay, and
Okay.
I started looking at the report.
And I did get, okay, let's see. I did get Lewis County General Transport Environment. There was some notes that came out. There were several questions around the number of transports that originated at Lewis County General Hospital. Search and rescue seemed to have a totally different number than what the contractors did. So I felt like there was more contention than there was actual, resolution.
Yeah, in the email that was sent out, I think it was Scott Doyle sent it out. He said that, and I didn't notice this when I watched the meeting. But he said there seemed to be a lot of, let's talk about that question, that after the meeting. I saw one instance of it kind of, but he made it sound like that happened a lot. And that wasn't right, because not everybody got the information. But they did say that the study had 200 transports or something, and the reality was this one particular had 23 or 25 is what he
Yeah,
said.
the numbers were a whole order different. So I guess a lot of it was muddied because of the contention that there was, the opinion that why are we paying a non-for-profit with public money, which was the search and rescue. And the other one was, why are we associating with Lewis County General when I can't get service for, if I'm in Harrisville or if I'm in Osceola, I'm not getting, somebody there in 15 minutes to respond to an emergency. And then they're just like, well, we're not talking about emergency responses, we're talking about transports.
Yes, but it's gonna have an effect on the emergency responses from what I gleaned from the article that they had on the news recently, and that the primary purpose of that county transport would be transport.
Yeah.
And if they don't have anything going, they would be
Then-
available for emergency calls, but
Right.
emergency calls are all day long,
Mhm.
you know, and I just wonder how can, I understand them wanting to do, you know, they've got to take care of their transports as well, but what do you do if, I mean, if there are emergency calls, then it's not necessarily gonna help them out much. I don't know, just.
Then there was a proposal of, so they're talking about a gap between either one of the options that they have proposed aside from the Lewis County Search and Rescue option. And they raised two options to raise money. One would be to tax any DMV registrations, so the number of vehicles, just because you get tourists, you know, like $10 for, you know, a car and a truck, just, you know, to raise money that way to, I guess, suffice that gap that they're not getting, you know, they're not charging to the customer for the transport. And the other one was raising a tax on assessed value. I'm like, oh, that'll go over really
Oh,
well.
yes, please.
So I'm bringing that up. Let's see. Then they talked about, you know, approve the solar farming program. Well, maybe they, through the pilot program, they could generate a % of that money, you know, for the pilot program. So there was, you know, different things that were thrown around. Sorry. They talked about Osceola. They talked about Osceola. Yeah. So I don't know, you're gonna have to fill in blanks for the rest of the, option one was, you know, an 18 FTE. Full scale was 27 FTE, only with a 50% billing that leaves you with a gap of 400,000. So you're still having to fill that gap somehow, whether it be through assessment or the DMV registration or the pilot or whatever other option they came up with. So those are just the two options they brought out, and there was, you know, Scott's like, I presented a presentation, how come you didn't, you know, offer that option? So there was contention there, so.
It does seem to me that the study totally ignored an option of having a disseminated service. You know, 4 stations around the county. Didn't look at that at all.
No.
And you know, they said that they dismissed county provided or LCR provided county-wide services, and they didn't give a rationale for why they dismissed that. And you know, me being a numbers person, you know, like 3,381 incident calls per year in the county, 9.3 per day, and 26% of those are what they call high priority. So that means of the 4 stations, each station is handling half a priority call per day. They didn't define what full response time was for that getting there and getting to the hospital. The fact that they want to take the transport and put it at the hospital makes a lot of sense, because that's where you're transporting to or from. And the fact that, you know, the hospital knows how to bill insurance companies. They have people that do that. They have a nurse that when the insurance company rejects paying a bill, who goes through and fights it, you know, which I'm sure the independent companies that there are more than just LCSR, right? There's several other ambulances in the county. They don't have people that are, you know, trained well in doing that and do that fighting on a daily basis. So that part kind of makes sense financially, but it's also the financial piece that seems to be solid in terms of these ambulance companies getting money. They definitely apparently get the money for transport. It's probably pre-approved by the insurance before it happens, I'm guessing, but I don't know that for a fact. And I guess there's some issue with getting paid in full for non-transport calls. So this model would kind of take away the funding that you could count on and then leave what was left to the other ambulance services to hopefully get their money. So, we would probably end up paying more to LCSR as a town because they've got to make up that lack of funding somewhere. But, I think LCSR is way off base too, because he posits that they should be paid the same as an emergency room nurse. Now, I know I'm prejudiced because I'm married to a nurse and I have two nurse practitioners, his daughters. But person stepping off that truck cannot step into the emergency room without additional training, right? They see a half a priority call a day, not 8 to 12 patients for an 8-hour shift, right? And so he wants to pay them like $95,000 a year, these EMTs. Now, the study showed that the typical pay, I confirmed this online, is about $33 an hour. All right, and sure enough, you go and say, what does an EMT or paramedic? And it comes up around $67K, which is $33 an hour times 2,080 hours. So, I think he's off base with what he wants to pay, and that would reduce his costs in his model. And I just don't see it.
Maybe that's why Tim Hunt wants to have another look at it, right? They had an outside firm that looked at this.
They had an outside firm that looked at it.
He wants to do it again. That's what's being reported on the news here lately, is that he wants to have it done again.
Yeah, and like Michelle pointed out, what they didn't point out on the news was this problem with response time. They didn't mention that as a negative to this approach of centralizing everything at the hospital.
It'd make more sense for the town of Osceola to pay, Camden than it would to pay Lewis County
Well, I
Section
don't
Rescue.
know, I'd be
I
taxed.
don't blame them,
Yeah.
I thought Natural Bridge in Harrisville already had that agreement.
I think, well, that's what I understood, was that Natural Bridge was gonna take over the Harrisville territory when they dissolved.
Yeah.
But
And there was a whole argument about certificate of need, and I think LCSR was trying to fight that.
They were.
Because they wanted to be the ones that provided that, and they would move, they'd establish another ambulance location closer to make the response time work out. Again, I haven't gotten through I've only gotten the reports like 100 pages. Yeah, I haven't gotten through a third of it. But another problem they pointed out, besides no volunteers or reduced number of volunteers, is that they say that people are leaving the county, or people will come into the county to take these jobs because housing prices are too high and they can't afford to move in.
Then where are they moving?
Yes, and that was my point, is like, and
If I can afford here.
and if you're paying them $67,000 a year, which is what they were saying would be the price, they can afford a house here. And that's a pretty decent salary, I think.
Well, they're gonna be able to live anywhere if they can't live in Lewis County.
No, that's.
I mean, granted, Fort Drum just push up our prices. People with decent rentals basically base their rental prices on BAH, which, for an E6 is like $1,600 a month.
Is it that much?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I got out too soon.
Yeah.
And that's not your, and they still have to pay their utilities, their
Yeah.
driveway pump,
That's just rent. Right
Yeah.
there.
But I'm just shocked.
Yeah, but that's what,
BAH is that high.
and I didn't know any of this until I married Rusty.
Right.
I was just like, what's BAH?
Basic allowance for housing for the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't live on post, they give you money to live off post.
And they give them 1,600.
That's what.
Well, I
shocks
mean,
me.
it just depends on your E level, you know, whatever your
Yeah.
rank is.
But
you
whatever
know.
that E level was that you just
I think
quoted
it's
here.
E6, E5 or E6, something like
You could say 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter to me. It's E something. 16 is, that's pretty good.
Above the beginner, you know, the private.
I mean, I've heard a number of reasons why people don't want to move into the area, but that's not usually one of those reasons that I hear.
So I think there are definitely issues with that study that was done. And I think the biggest hole is that they just ignored the response time and what it would take to have a distributed system.
And they have to remember, we're dealing with the worst group known to man as far as wanting to work. You know, I mean, yeah, some of that might be to do with pay, but I mean, there's some people you could pay them $200,000 a year and they'd be like, no, I want to sell and play Xbox. I mean, how they pay their bills, I have no idea, but that's literally true.
So Scott is suggesting that the mayors and the supervisors get together and discuss this more. And certainly makes sense to me because it could be a big hit out of our.
Scott Doyle.
Yeah.
He's Denmark.
And, you know, like I said, I think the LCSR approach could make sense if it was more affordable, but one way to do that is to pay a reasonable amount for that skill level.
Right.
It does seem to be a leap to paying the EMTs the same as an ER nurse when it's not, that's not the format in other places that have paid EMTs.
Right.
You know, it doesn't, why that figure?
I thought I heard him in the video saying, well, I asked for the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, well, that's no way to sell,
Yeah.
you know.
You have to be reasonable,
Yeah.
especially when you're, we're just gonna add all this money to the assessed value of your home. People don't take kindly to that.
I thought on an ambulance, all you needed was a nurse to do an injection and have that skill level. So you're not obligated to do anything beyond that.
Well, I believe some of them can also do the EKGs, read the EKGs and apply
But I
whatever.
mean, mostly to put a needle in you, you gotta be that.
You gotta be ALS,
Right.
advanced life support. And a lot of the calls are BLS calls.
Well,
That seems clear. So I can't, you know.
Especially when you get people down in the southern part. I won't mention any towns that call up and they get a freaking nosebleed, you know. Well, some of the calls that you hear, you know, and I have the pager on monitor and I'll be listening to any call that comes in and it's amazing sometimes. And you know that, well, that guy, you know what he wants to ride the doggone Longville. So call an
Have
ambulance.
something severed to call the ambulance.
Huh?
I said I'd have to have something severed to call the ambulance. I
Yeah,
can call
no
the ambulance, just
kidding.
take me.
You one of these, you'd be glad they came.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously more to come on that.
Sorry, I was a bit discombobulated because I just came into that cold and
No, I
I'm
know,
like,
I understand.
ooh, there's a little tension here.
Well,
No, I thought something now.
Now I want to be where you are, Bob.
so the county put out a resolution, number 136, calling for amendments to the New York State Post-Community Benefit Program to increase annual fees, establish retroactive application, and direct incorporation of NYSERDA participation into county renewable energy laws. So basically they're saying the current fee structure doesn't provide enough relief to host communities. It doesn't offset the increases in utility rates. Electricity rates have gone up 61% in the last 5 years. And NYSERDA is, participating in all this development of all these different types of projects. They would like that instead of an annual facility fee of $500 per megawatt, that these projects pay $3,500 per megawatt.
Mhm.
And then apply that retroactively. And make, right now, the fee requirement is 10 years, and they want it to be made for the full operational life of the project, which
Yeah.
of course makes perfect sense.
And what types of projects does this cover?
This is large-scale renewable energy facility, solar, wind, battery energy, geothermal, compressed air, compressed gas, and similar projects. Any renewable project 25 megawatts or greater sited within a municipality and receiving NYSERDA support shall be required to contribute to a permanent community benefit fund administered by the local utility to be used to supplement electric bill credits and investment in local infrastructure, energy affordability programs for low-income residents, and community resilience initiatives, and be revisited every 5 years to adjust for any increases. So that was kind of sent to us just for informational purposes, but I thought I'd get that on the record that,
But aren't most supervisors sending a support letter to the county?
they didn't ask for that.
I thought I saw emails where they all were doing it.
Well, there was one that, the only one that I've gotten lots of emails on was the one for Raycog, where Raycog was sending a letter of support for something.
This was this one.
Really? I haven't seen that. But, in any case.
I think I've seen 4 or 5 townships.
Really?
Sending.
I would have thought I would have been copied on it if you got them. Maybe that's what you have.
So that compensates the towns, municipalities, but that doesn't necessarily do anything about what these facilities will do to the electric rates for everybody that lives there then.
Well, it does set up for some, this last one, where they set up a fund that's supposed to help low income, give them credits on their electric bill.
Low income.
But I would assume that we all support increasing what these projects pay to the towns, and we support payment to reduce electric rates for at least low income, if not everybody. Right? I mean, I can't see anybody not supporting that. Okay. I had a couple of emails. I understand there was some stuff online wondering what was going on under the high voltage lines. So I reached out to Mike Bush, asked him if National Grid was doing anything, and he said yes, in fact, they were finishing up a remediation of the sites after having put in the upgraded poles. So that's what that work is. Okay. Hometown hero.
I had a press release that was going to Lisa, and when I sent it to her, I got an email back, response back, I'll be on the vacation for the next 2 weeks. So I did send what I have to Tom, and he, technically, if you click on that link, it is active now. So it will be, we'll accept applications for this first round until July 1st, and then so it'll be later rollout. But, at least we're starting it this year.
Good, that's it. It's important that we get it started.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's $100, and the town is covering the brackets. So I only have to, when I get them all in, talk to the highway and see if we could get those banners put up.
Yeah, let's get a bucket truck.
You have to get one, okay. Can you get the counties or not?
Oh,
I can talk to John.
I can find out tomorrow.
But,
Osceola's got one we can use.
so since we don't have like Venmo or anything, they'll have to either pay Tom $100 cash or check for that. And then I asked on there to, obviously write the memo of who the hometown hero is, because their name could possibly not be the same as the hometown hero's name. So, kind of
When do
important.
the photos get submitted?
So they, when they click on the link, they go through that process
They go
themselves.
through the submission
So
photo?
they're submitting all that information to the the marketing group, what's the name, center. Anyway, and then, how does it work? What she'll do is she's gonna batch applications and let me know.
And then we send a check to them?
Yep.
Okay.
Are there guidelines for the pictures or anything that they send? I mean, any that I've seen, they're showing them all in uniform and,
Yeah,
you know,
so
as they would have been, you know,
That's
when
like-
they were serving.
what it is, you know, they have to be in uniform. And it obviously doesn't matter if it's old or dress uniform or, you know, it doesn't have to be dress uniforms. It can be just regular, you know, uniforms. And certain, you know, they deal with the pixels and all that. So they deal with that all on that end. We just, once we get the batch that have applied, then I approve it. We make sure that, you know, they've given payment to Tom and we can go ahead and order and get that in a couple weeks.
I see in Lions Falls, it looks like theirs are the 2x5.
Yeah.
Lions Falls look pretty nice.
I think most of them that I've seen, or, I mean, they said that the ones in Loudville were bigger than that, but they didn't look bigger than that to me.
So that they're 3x5,
Yeah.
but Lisa did say, she says, remember, the bigger they are, the more air they catch and, you know, the more they break down quicker because they're more exposed. So after, there is a lifespan of, you know, 2 to 5 years of what the, you know, banner is based on our weather. And then those banners would go back to the sponsor when they're done, when they're not really in a presentable form anymore.
Mhm.
We don't want to collect all those, do we?
No.
I mean, if these people paid for them,
Right.
you know, we want to be able to give them back. I don't imagine like they'll be in shattered tear, you know, but they'll fade. That's what'll happen is they'll fade over time.
Yeah, well, they'll get tattered too. I know that before the current caretaker of the flags in Branningham assumed that position, I was taking care of 4 flags that some people that lived in Branningham started on their own. And they paid for them and they wanted me to, and then they moved out, they moved into a retirement community, but they wanted me to continue putting these up every year until they were no longer usable. And what I found was that the flags would, in the wind, they would get caught on stuff that's on the poles, you know, like slivers and stuff like that. And it would, some of them got torn up really fast.
Pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing about these brackets is they're holding the signs.
So they're top and bottom then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there is no flapping of these
Okay.
unless it's, you know,
Because I didn't pay
wind
attention to
storm.
that there was a bracket on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the brackets aren't cheap either. We're paying like, what, $69 per bracket, you know, and they pay $100 for the actual banner. So, later on, if we wanted to, we can, well, right in there in the press release, it does ask for donation if you're, you know, interested in donating. But, you know, we can also, you know, talk about donating later, especially for those that maybe not be able to afford it, so. But this year was not enough time to do a donation program.
Comprehensive plan banner off the top and put Heroes program up there or on the website.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to step on the comprehensive plan, but I
No,
think the interest has kind of died down and the comprehensive plan's in play.
right. And we should have a comprehensive plan online though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, yeah, I think that's fine. And Labella is gonna have a website for the zoning law
Zoning law
update, so we don't have to put that on ours right away.
Yeah.
So this would be good to have the hometown heroes.
I do have on the website now, the subscribe buttons up there. I haven't given any indication what it is,
Okay.
but you can click on that button and subscribe. And then anything we choose to push out as a news item would go to that subscribers list.
Okay. Good. So do we wanna,
Begin to publicize that fact, yes. and what the program's all about.
We'll do that.
Tom, are all those local laws that you had put on the website for what have they been consolidated someplace? Do we still have access to them online, or with this new website,
Check
do we?
again, off the top of my head, I'm sure I could put them back on this.
Well, I don't mean to have all those put back up. I just wondered
They're all
if they would be available someplace.
Yeah.
So E-code has finished their development of a package that puts everything into a book, all your laws into a book with chapters and all that good stuff. And there's a draft of it, and it's considering that the zoning law is in it, and the zoning law itself is 110 pages or so. It's a fairly big book, and I got to go through and proofread. But anyway, that will go online, and that will have all of our laws.
But the zoning laws,
Not just
all
laws.
all laws.
All of it. And they'll be organized in some fashion that I think we approved a year ago or whatever, when they sent us this is how we think we ought to organize your laws. So yeah, that will be, I don't know exactly when, because I still got to proofread it. But soon we will have that available. And you have experience with that E-code product. And
Yep.
it's very easy to
Yeah,
find
it's great.
stuff in it, so.
But those laws are still available here in written form though, or so that if there's one in particular I wanted to look at, I could get a copy of it to take with me and, okay.
Lobby work.
Kind of on hold. I have 2 graduations coming up, so it'll be more looking at August.
You were supposed to send me something about Alameda here.
I didn't send it?
Don't think so. Or it's possible I deleted it while I was sipping margaritas on the beach, but I did not sip margaritas.
Whatever. Oh my God.
Do you consider yourself a lobbyist now or what?
No.
Okay, all right, so August.
Just curious.
Security update. So the library now has the push button lock on it. So pretty much done. The only thing I am not sure of, and Steve says it hasn't been done, is rekeying the 3 doors down at the town park so that one key opens all 3 doors. It's not clear that that's been done. So,
Those keys are still sitting, Mr. Little never showed up.
yeah, okay, so then the answer is he didn't. All right. So we've had the water issue in town park. Apparently it was not, Mike did the digging. And I kept getting phone calls while I was sipping my margaritas. But it sounds like the water line did freeze and break. It wouldn't surprise me that that hadn't started in some year past, because our water pressure really did stink there. And they were planning on looking at it this year until we couldn't get any water whatsoever. So Mike dug, and he found out that the water line and the electrical lines going over to the refreshment shack, and I guess the pavilion, were not handled per code. They were not 4 feet down. There was no tape over the top of them showing that you're approaching electric lines. And go ahead, Mike.
I told them.
Those parts.
Those parts.
Most parts, all resolved.
That's good.
Is that electric in a conduit or?
Nope.
So where was this thing leaking? Is it close to the bathroom building or?
I'm not for sure where it was leaking.
Oh,
I wasn't even there for that part. I just dug it up, found the water line, and I said, see you guys later, I'm out.
Somewhere out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, they feel it was right there where it comes out of that and comes down, comes out of the house and then down. It wasn't anywhere near the well.
Yeah.
And so what they did is, because we decided we weren't going to reconnect, dig up and find the break in the line going out to the hot dog shed, since they don't really use the water there anymore. they just put on, made a new connection from the well by going in where the pipe going out to the hot dog shed was. Otherwise, they would have had to dig up the concrete because apparently there was a plastic tube.
Yep.
That came out far enough for going over to the hot dog shed that they could just push the new pipe up through there. But you had to get Eric to come out and do the rewiring. And the plumber was there several times, several times.
Is that a well or a point?
Well,
Good. The girls' toilet, one of them is still running slow. So we'll have to change it. I had the guts changed out last year, but we'll have to do it again. Probably sand got in there from the pipe being cracked or whatever. I really do think that's what happened, is that it might have frozen, cracked the previous year. Sand slowly built up. And
Finished it off.
and now it finally gave it up. So it's not going to be a small bill, because of having to have an electrician in there as well as the plumber multiple times.
Yeah.
And I had to get a porta potty, which I have to call and now have taken back.
Just thinking about how it gets winterized every year. I mean, you've got a pipe that, sure, maybe the horizontal portion is going to be 4 feet below the ground and it'll be fine, but eventually it's going to come out of the ground. And, depending on how the line is drained, there's still going to be water in the line someplace.
Yeah, I don't know how you handle that when you've got a well at one end. And I would imagine the pipe that you have, I guess, what is it? You have a pitless adapter. You can pull and perhaps blow the line out.
that's what he planned on doing, he said.
Okay.
Well, if you pulled it, you probably wouldn't have to. The gravity, you just take it out.
Possibly.
It would take it to the level of the pitless adapter anyway.
Yeah.
Which would be below frost. Yeah.
I think that's what his plan is. I don't think that's what has been done in the past. I think some people just thought, oh, it's going to be 4 feet down, it'll be good.
Yeah, until it's not 4 feet.
Okay. Did that. Oh, National Grid. We got our bill. You'll see there's a late charge on it. How the heck can we have a late charge on the bill? It was due May 26th. It was cashed May 20th. The other two accounts that also had the same due date were also paid that, and they don't have a late charge. So I call them up. Oh, well, let's see. Let's take a look. No, 20 minutes. And they go, well, it looks like it really started in March. That the payment didn't come until April. But I don't know why they put this other late charge on that. Oh, wait, we were still trying to figure out how much you owed us then. I go, that's right. You told me not to pay it until you figured out how much we owed you. That's exactly the way it should have been. I'll get rid of this charge for it. Boy, they're.
Who do they have working there?
I don't know.
They charge enough, it should be top tier quality.
That's great.
That'd be another one of those guys that you're talking about. Pay him 200,000 a year and it isn't gonna make any difference.
They're sitting in my mom's basement and play Xbox.
The Lions Club contacted me. And
Lions Falls,
no, the Loudville Lions Club,
Wildwood Lions.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think you would have been contacted by because when I was in the Wildwood Lions, they wouldn't have anything to do with
Is that right? Oops.
It's gotta be the Wildwood, or the Lions Falls Lions.
Tina Sullivan.
More
Sullivan.
Lions Ballsy than it does Ballsy.
And she's a registered occupational therapist at the Southeast School District.
Oh, Tina Sullivan.
Yeah,
She goes by Tina. Yeah.
she's a client of mine.
Really?
She doesn't go by Tina, it's Tina.
People in the tough name.
South Lewis Lions Club.
Yeah.
So apparently I responded to a survey last year that they sent out saying that we could use some help at the park. And she said, guess what? we'd like to give you some help at the park. So,
Where were they last year when I needed?
so Steve and I came up with a list of things that need fixing at the park. And there's a couple of small gardens, one by the flagpole, one further up by the entrance, that haven't seen any care in a while. So that's one thing. The track needs to be dragged and the grass dug out of it in several places. Because of the digging that we just had to do, we need to have topsoil put on and reseeded. I plan to plant 500 or so tulips in the fall. I thought along.
Oh, the deer are gonna love you.
They don't, not tulips, I'm sorry, daffodils, which they will not eat. So I could definitely use help planting those. So we have a list of things that to offer them. Oh, also, I think I would like to get new benches because the 2x6 that they're sitting on right now has probably been there for 20 years. Yeah, player benches.
Oh.
And so there are some fairly inexpensive aluminum ones that we just need to put some small concrete footings in the ground for. So that's another thing that I would see if they'd be willing to do that work. Great. So Steve wants to do the painting of all the buildings. So that's fine. He's our maintenance guy. He gets first crack at that stuff. There's enough to do there. Any other thoughts about that project? I told her that I'd get back with her tomorrow after I met with our maintenance guy and discuss various projects. So we'll see what they say they're willing to do. Cemetery signs. I don't know where we are you were gonna take some pictures or
Did you get
measurements?
those I sent you?
I
emailed everybody.
Yeah, I think I got those.
I
It
didn't.
sounded like you were gonna do something else. It's that, and again, that margarita.
Well, on the beach.
See, if you were sipping the margaritas, I don't think you were sipping. So.
It was hot.
A brain freeze.
I couldn't remember what when we talked about that sign last year, like what its dimensions were or anything, and how it compared to, I think it was a lot smaller than
They were a lot smaller
what these,
from what I could tell.
like that one at Beaches Bridge is a little elaborate, 'cause it's got the big brick
Right.
but
Yeah,
pillars
any
there.
idea how big the letters are?
Yeah, the letters were almost 16 inches
Really?
at Beaches Bridge, but the letters at Lowville were like 8 inches.
Okay. I think what the ones that were presented to us were like 4 inches. They just seem way too small.
Yeah, the ones in Lowville were 8.
A lot of it depends on how far from the road.
Beaches are 16 inches?
They're not quite 16 inches. I didn't measure the letters, but they were in like inside that arch. The arch was 16 inches.
Yeah.
So they're probably at least a foot. Looking at this picture, maybe a little more. They're pretty big.
I just went past the one on Roberts Road today in Denmark and looked at theirs. I was gonna take a picture of them.
Swinburne?
The letters are probably 16 inches. But you look at the Otter Creek Cemetery and the gate is just a tiny little gate.
Right.
So it almost seems to me like maybe a stone on the side of the gate that just had the cemetery name and letter. I went,
Not going with an arch and everything.
right,
Yeah.
I went on artificial intelligence and asked for designs for cemetery entrances, and they came up with 3 suggestions on how to approach it, including the font style that you need to use for the letters in the arch. But Bob told me to stop going to artificial intelligence. But anyway, if we were to go to a contractor, it certainly laid out all of the specifics that need to be accomplished under contractors making the sign.
Well, what's is one of the options? a
One of
stone?
the options is a stone foundation with some letters on, wording on the stone beside the gate. And then another one is a wooden monument. Wasn't a bear, but it was a wooden monument at the cemetery entrance.
Yeah, I think one of the big arches at Otter Creek might be a little bit much for such a small
Yeah.
cemetery.
Plus you gotta put a foundation in for them of some sort. Either they gotta be steel all the way down to the ground and then a foundation, or if you're gonna put piers up, then that,
Well, I like
kinda
the stone
complicates
idea, for the
Yeah.
reason you said, the scales. Makes a lot of sense, and I would imagine that we could go to the cemetery stone.
I would think that both the Sam and the Otter Creek might deserve that treatment, but I think an arch over the Branningham is big enough and the entrance is wide enough that the one in Branningham might
Okay.
do with an overhead arch.
All right, so maybe we'll pursue, since folks at Otter Creek were the ones that brought this up, maybe pursue that this year from the, actually get it done perspective. And then, see if we can get pricing for an arch and the stone for sands to fund next year. So,
as long as we're on it, and I don't know that this has come up before, maybe it has, the subject of cemeteries is, every year, the VFW or American Legion, one or the other, they come to a lot of different cemeteries over Memorial Day weekend and do a service there. They have a gun salute and they play taps, and there's like a memorial reading or whatever that they do. And I think that in a lot of places, a lot of cemeteries, although I shouldn't say that for sure because I don't know, they may have a war monument or something, whereas
Yeah.
we don't have anything.
No,
We have a flagpole.
we had a veteran plaque out here somewhere and that's apparently disappeared. That's all I
Why?
know.
But I think that being that they're doing that at the cemeteries, that it's something that we could look at in the future is to put a memorial there. And
In the distant past, when Don Schneider was supervisor, every year he did have the military come to our parking lot, and the stone over here was representative of our interest in saluting or paying tribute to the,
he had like VFW or something.
yeah, they came with flags, trumpets.
Yes, they have a color guard and they had a,
Gun shooting all around the stone out here every year.
yeah.
And Sam Lenny was a big part of it. He and Don Schneider together used to put it together. And then when Marilyn came home, she dropped all that.
Yeah, what a required effort.
Okay. I mean, I liked the fact that this was a central location and, any veteran in any of the three cemeteries would be represented at this one spot. But we're obviously,
Well, as was stated, there used to be
Yeah.
a name, but it got so difficult to maintain the names. I don't know whatever happened to the sign that was originally here, but that was, whether Rick Watson knows where it is or not, I have no idea.
It's at
But,
the landfill, nothing left to it.
oh, there was nothing left. So anyway, this was felt to be just in general a statement that an appreciation for all of those that served.
well, what made the maintenance of it difficult? I mean, was the
Adding
metal
names.
name tags or what?
I'm not sure. I was not a part of that old sign.
I don't know, did it have individual names on it like that? Like,
I think it did, if I remember correctly.
And then the Friends of the Cemetery in Branningham had a sign, and they had every serviceman that was in the Branningham Cemetery listed on the sign. But we had a citizen come in and claim that her husband's name wasn't there. Well, he wasn't buried in the cemetery. So all kinds of things happened. And the Friends of the Cemetery took the sign down because of the contention that happened at the meeting here.
I guess I can see that. Is it just those who are buried or those that were in the town?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's at that cemetery, I would think it'd be those individuals that were buried at that cemetery. That's logical. It's a geographic
Well,
location.
she refused to pay the money to have her husband buried there, so she still wanted his name on the sign. And then she got 2 American Legion groups to come in and protest at our meeting. They
Oh
were-
my God.
They were here. She had Boonville and Alva both come and protest that his name wasn't on his sign. So, and the Friends of the Cemetery were just a group of women that revolved around Irene Kovach and her daughter. And so they said, we're not putting up with this, you know, and so we're just taking the sign down.
Sad.
I actually gotta get going. Do you think I'm doing anything else for me tonight?
Your firstborn.
Or 3 of
She's
them.
graduating too this year.
Is she?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, I'll see you all next month.
Okay.
All right, you
Thank
take
you.
care. Have a good night.
Okay, well, something else to put in our,
See you later. I don't think it's urgent, but
no,
I mean, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to have, I mean, I know it's not a physical tribute, but to have a page that's, you know, putting tribute on the website. You know, do we have, can you put it on the historian's, you know, link or, you know, something like that, that you're keeping that, it's easy to add, you know, and whether they're buried here or not, as long as they had an association with the town of Gregg, they could be listed.
sounds like a good idea. All right. I got this letter from Department of Planning and Community Development from Watertown. Apparently, Town of Gregg is part of the Home Consortium Municipalities. In 1993, Lewis, Jefferson, and St. Lawrence, along with 94 of the 115 municipalities, organized a housing consortium known as the North Country Home Consortium. The consortium still now consists of 110 municipalities in the counties. The effort began in order to access housing funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Provides an annual allocation to the consortium to benefit low and moderate income families for housing, with funding for owner-occupied rehabilitation, first-time homebuyer assistance, and rental rehabilitation. Local nonprofit housing corporations in some municipalities apply directly to access these funds. Anyway, they're letting us know that they have to be reauthorized. The consortium has to be reauthorized every 3 years. And so they're just letting us know that if we want to get out, we can get out. But if we want to stay in the consortium, we don't have to do anything. Anybody know anything about it?
Never even heard of that.
I thought Snowbelt Housing was the organization.
yeah.
If we get out, we'll be the only one that's out of the 110.
That's true. So, I mean, okay, it sounds like a good thing to be in. Now we just got to figure out how we
I mean, if we're in, it
make use
just,
of it.
an
Right,
MOU,
yeah.
an MOU, I mean, how do you apply?
You gotta send the money that's on the bottom of the form, right?
Right.
They're asking for money?
Our dues are due.
No, we're not asking for money. So they says the consortium has received and allocated $35.6 million
Where?
and assisted close to 2,054 households with either owner-occupied rehab, home buyer, or rental rehabilitation assistance.
Wow.
I wonder if that money goes through Snowbelt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would make sense, and that there probably is a different organization like in Watertown or something that is similar to Snowbelt, you know, that administer it.
So, yeah, apparently Jefferson County was selected as the lead for the 3 counties. That's why they're sending out the letter.
So St. Lawrence, Jefferson, Lewis.
So it came from a person that used to work at Labella and helped write their proposal for the comp plan grant. But then she decided she didn't like working from home, that she wanted to be in an office environment. So
I was, she came here, right?
Yeah.
I was impressed with her.
Yeah, so she's now the director of the Department of Planning and Community Development for Jefferson County. Anyway, I can give her a call and find out what this is.
See, where's the-
How do we-
Thanks for the update.
How do we
Where's
access
the-
it?
Show me the money. We have a suggested list here of qualifiers.
Okay. So that's that.
Everybody heard that the white trailer at the bottom of the hill is gonna be sold to John Stewart's house.
I wondered if that.
Oh, no kidding.
I figured.
So is their lots cleared up?
So
They're working on it
Yeah,
awful hard.
yeah. you
It's
can
pretty
see that.
cleaned up, but it looks like they have an existing foundation. How's that gonna work out?
Thank forgiveness.
Well, the county's only got 2 people out in the field now.
I didn't think they had that many for what I'm hearing.
Yeah. 2 in the field and 2 staying in the office.
I hear they got a lot of people in the office is what I hear.
2. Dave Brown getting done
Yeah.
and their secretary got done.
I don't hear that there's a lot of inspections and field work going on from.
I can't imagine that there is.
So they'll be fine, just roll that trailer in. Slap it on there.
All right. What the heck's going on with the roads?
Ain't nothing to me, it's coming.
That's a very strange mix.
They, they ground it, reprofiled it, they did.
I've just never seen them do that before,
Yeah.
and that's awful to drive on.
Yeah.
Cause I was, usually kind of take
Avoid it.
that number 4 road straight
Yeah.
through, but not.
There was a contractor that the county hired to come in and do
Yeah.
both sections. Wow.
Must be the
Mike
same
Teal
contractor.
came in and said that driving on the Branningham one, that he got home and parked his car in his nicely epoxy garage floor and it dripped that oil down off there. I said, I didn't think there was enough oil on
No
it.
oil in it.
I didn't
The
think
only thing to do is grinding the blacktop and adding stone to it, laying it back down.
they didn't put anything on top of it yet.
No, they're gonna start
They
tomorrow.
did it today. They've got-
Yeah, they did, they
There must have
trimmed
been
the,
something though, because you could see when people left
They
that,
trimmed
and
the
went on the
grade
blacktop, it left like black tracks,
right.
like they were
Yeah.
pulling something out of that.
yeah.
Turin's Lee Road is like that too.
Oh, yeah, I noticed,
Any
Yeah.
idea when that should all be cleared up?
Drive over
They're
there.
shimming, they shimmed the road, that road today,
Meaning,
Greg Road, they
Not
shimmed it.
impressed.
yeah,
meaning
now
Jim
it's,
explained.
Put blacktop over top of it,
Okay.
coal mix over top of that, then they're doing this Branium be done
way
tomorrow.
smoother than
Yeah.
what it
I
was.
haven't been traveling on it. I've been
Yeah.
avoiding it.
I've just been taking that little bit from the corner,
Yeah.
that little stretch, and I'm glad that's all I had to
Yeah.
drive on.
Mhm.
because,
Me
Wow,
too.
it was rough.
I was like, oh, this is like a 25, maybe, mile an hour.
One night I hit Steve Blow up on Chase's Lake and I drove him down, went down Otter Creek Road, got all the way down there, pulled up in front of Chesmeyer's house and the guy says, I'm gonna have to ask you to turn around and go back. He said, I can't let you on, to go into Glenfield. I can't let you on the road for another half hour or hour. I had to turn around and go all the way back to Burton Crossing Road, turn around and go to Glenfield. I said, why didn't you stand at the other end of it?
Yeah.
What else? When are we starting?
We are starting blacktop next week supposedly,
Where are we starting?
Eatonville Road. Then working our way back this way.
Just the part that's already paved? or-
Yeah, and that little short stretch right there, that Salisbury
By
Road.
Dave Jacobs?
Yeah. We'll take a couple loads, do it. Let's do it and get it done with. Did find out how much chips we got. Between last year and this year, we got little over $602,000 we can spend.
How much is that?
A little over 602,000 in chips between last year and this year. And we've been hauling our stone. We got all our stone hauled and stuff. I got 2 trucks broke down.
So there goes that 602,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Parts come in for one of them today. Gotta go down and get parts tomorrow for the other one. So other than that, it's been a good month, I guess.
I got 2 questions. I don't know. That culvert up at the end of Partridgeville where you go to Big Otterdale, you ever happen with that?
Yeah,
Still just temporary?
temporarily.
And,
I don't think it ever go nowhere, but
Probably just gonna stay, well, yeah, exactly.
The concrete culvert, you mean?
Yeah,
Can't go in there anyway, we're very far.
no. No.
And anything going on the Eatonville Bridge, or hear anything about?
Got a red flag on it. Gotta go look at it tomorrow. So, what else is gonna, we've had a red flag on it forever.
Hmm.
Oh, John.
Seems like the last 2 years has been, we're almost ready to start working on that bridge.
Yeah, well, last year they had all those other bridges
They,
there.
last time they said something about starting this year, that's according to John.
Yeah, I thought they were.
They
going
did
to.
core samples and everything on both sides of the bridge.
I thought they were going to.
According to who?
John
John
Reed.
Reed.
Oh, the new superintendent.
So the design must be done.
I haven't heard, no, that's all I've heard so far about it.
Because I think, isn't Martin and Linda just doing that one too?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what,
I think so.
yeah, pretty sure.
Cause they asked me if they could bring equipment in from the other side. I'm like, you can, but it's pretty narrow up through there,
Yeah.
you know,
Bring what in from there?
equipment.
Where do you
Where are
start?
they gonna come in from, the horse trails?
Yeah,
They'd have to
right
come
off
in
Sands
from
Pond,
Sand Pond
come
Road.
across Fusion Flats.
I wanna see that. When's that gonna happen?
You're
They're gonna have to do some tree
It's
removal.
funny.
The crew building the road under the power line and go up there and make them a road.
Yeah. I got you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might better carry it over the creek.
Move it
with a
over.
Crane or something.
Take the bridge
Yeah,
down.
I don't like that.
Leave it over
They
there.
might be afraid to drive over the bridge. though.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive across it. With a pickup, I will, but not the big, nothing the big. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
As far as, that's the only thing I know about it. The bridge wise.
I'm surprised it, excuse me, hasn't been closed altogether.
I know, I'm waiting for it.
So you're still gonna do the end of Patterson Road?
Yep. With the blacktop action.
So what-
Swing your own, you get done.
what is your plan? I know we have 250,000 in the budget for what you were planning to do this year. And obviously you have the opportunity to do more. Do you have any idea what you would want to do or just
No,
make a
I
bigger
just,
plan
I was
next
just
year?
gonna plan stuff for next year. Okay. River Road's gonna be done next year for sure. That road is shot. Road's not even 10 years old.
Okay.
Are you doing that extending the pavement on Partridgeville? That first bit
Yeah, you're talking about.
I'm
doing
thinking
a
about
mile
doing a
of-
mile, I'm thinking about doing a mile of that next year.
next year?
That'll just, that's the only place it gets bad is the first mile. Is the worst part of the whole road.
And that gets you up just beyond Crooked Creek Trail
Yep.
there.
Yep. And that's the worst part of the road right through that stretch.
Nothing, no thoughts of buying a replacement bulldozer or grader or whatever?
Probably next year, I'd like to replace a loader next year.
The front end loader?
Yeah,
I thought that was relatively new.
2018.
That's what we just got the tires for?
No, the Hyundai.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's only 8 years old, I mean, compared to most of our other equipment that's
Yeah,
a new one.
we've had a lot of trouble with that thing too. Every 4 months, we're putting a battery in that thing. Been like this, it's been new. They don't know what's wrong. Don't have a clue.
That's
But batteries
comforting.
are cheap.
It's an easy fix.
Yeah, no other towns had trouble with the John Deere, but everything we've had, it's been like this, it's been new, they got a battery. They can figure it out. Don't they even unhook that? Yep.
Do you have hard doors?
No. Parking inside and match the switch off.
No.
Maybe we should park it outside and match the switch on, I don't
Okay, so
Bob's over there, la, la, la.
all right, no major change to the budget this
No,
year, but you'll
no.
make some.
Yeah, next year.
I'm sure you haven't heard anything from.
No.
Wait a minute. What are you? Are
Who knows where we're
I
gonna,
know what he's talking about,
it's
trucks.
been 2 years since we ordered that
Viking.
first truck.
Like
It's been 2 years.
Good luck.
So we've got $600,000 worth of CHIPS money and we're only spending $250.
It'll be more,
Is
it'll be
that-
more than 250.
Okay.
It'll probably 317, give or take, a little bit more.
All right, so we'll have to.
Because something like that kind of concerns me
Yeah.
that,
you?
you know,
Oh, the stone.
somebody is gonna decide in the
Yeah.
state level that they
Yeah.
need money and say, oh, you know what? we'll just take some of this chip money back.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to transfer
Yeah.
money.
A lot of times, every town does it though.
Well, they take back a lot of money then, wouldn't they?
Yeah. You. I think town of Western had over 800,000.
Western.
I'm surprised that they,
Well, the
Yeah.
CHIPS allocation
Yeah.
is up in the next budget.
Mm.
They increased it by what,
Yeah.
50 million or something? So that's good news.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely need to
I
be
asked
investing more in the
Michelle.
infrastructure.
I asked Michelle Ward about the attorney position in Watson, and I mentioned Ray Meyer, the candidate that I gave to you. And she said she thought he was close to retiring.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was still working. Right.
why, did Ian do Watson too?
No, oh,
But they-
yeah.
Ian did Watson, yeah.
I mean, when I read it, I would say, yeah, he's
He's up there. in
he's
age.
up there in age. Not that I'm discriminating due to age, I'll take anybody that's qualified.
Well, he's 12 years younger than I am.
Exactly.
What do you mean he's up there in age?
It'd be nice if we had somebody that could do bonds.
That's true, that would save us some money.
Ray was old school, like Mark Gibo was, he did all that stuff.
But I wonder if he'd, do something on the side. I mean, like, fine, he's retiring, but could he do bonds? As long as he kept his law license, probably would be cheaper than the firm out of Watertown. Okay. Let's see, my report, what do I have got to talk about? Vote Stewart has started. They decided to give him a $2 an hour raise, so our budget was not based on getting that large of a raise. So.
They decided to give a raise?
That's their money.
Okay.
They reimbursed us. So his pay rate is $22 an hour. We charge them $25 an hour to cover the overhead.
Can I get that down?
Yeah, no, me too.
I know that was available, I told my daughter.
Same guys last year doing it. So I looked, he submitted his first timesheet. It's not a big deal. If he continues at that same rate, we're talking about 600, 1,000. So it's no big deal for us in terms of changing the budget but I just found it a little annoying that they didn't tell us that they were.
I'm sorry, I knew about it. I should have told you.
Well, but you had told me last October, November, so.
Oh, back at budget time.
Yeah, right. It's not a big
You
deal.
can blame Steve Woodard.
Yeah,
He was generous at the meeting. He just said,
that was generous. Let's see, I have a presentation that I'd like to post online as well as on 2 Facebook pages about taxes.
I would stay away from Facebook pages.
Well, it seems to be the only way people get any information.
Well, if it's
Well,
out there, that's their tough luck if they don't get it.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you folks, what you think. Yeah, I won't,
Yeah, I don't know that we need to get involved with Facebook.
okay, not even the unofficial taxpayers page.
I mean, if we put it on our website,
Okay.
anybody can link, right?
Yeah, if you're capable of getting on Facebook, you're capable of getting on our website.
But I'm not sure if that's true.
Okay.
It is.
You have the technology to do it, let's put it that way.
So it's really kind of setting the stage for the fact that we need to do a reevaluation. And, better get the discussion out there and have it discussed than drop it on them. Although we'll open this up. But the idea, and Alan has the 2-page that flyer that he's used with Krogan and updated for Greg that explains the process and that the fact that it really is revenue neutral. That the town is not grabbing more money, they're just redistributing who they're getting the money from. So thought it'd be funny on the opening. I do want to have a discussion on town cemeteries later this summer about
whether we want to bother enforcing our laws and what the, do we like all the bylaws for the cemetery? And if so, then let's start enforcing them, again. But anyway, it just explains to them what their tax bill consists of, and the big, how your town property taxes is calculated at first. Right, so we figure out what we need to run the town, and then we figure out how much of that we'll get from other sources, and the rest we got to get from property taxes. So, we got to raise $1 million. Value of the town is, these are all example numbers.
As you say, you gotta make that real clear.
Yeah, I do have 250,000, or 250 million. Therefore, your tax rate is $4 per thousand. So a home assessed at 200 would pay 800 in town taxes. So I just say that again in smaller number of words. There's two factors. Don't forget, there's two factors: the value of your home and the town tax rate. And assuming that tax levy stays the same, if one goes up, the other has to come down. Right? So just because your house is worth more doesn't mean you're going to pay more. Then I get into county and school taxes, and I mean, this is where you really need to do the revaluation, because the state brings in that equalization rate, right? So they're saying that the assessed value is only 52% of the market value of the homes on average in the town. And so they're inflating the value of the town by a factor of nearly 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that number is used to figure out how much the town of Gregg should pay in county taxes and property and school taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And if the state's wrong and we're really undervaluing by, say, 65% instead of 52%, we're paying a lot more in school and county taxes than we should. Of course, it could go the other way, but Martinsburg just did their reassessment last year, and they dropped way down in terms of where they rank in terms of paying county and school taxes. So in their case, the revaluation saved them, the town overall, money at the school and at the county level.
But you have no idea ahead of time.
You have no idea ahead of time as to which way it'll go. Alan seems to think that it'll kind of go the way of Martinsburg, but there's no guarantee. And here, these are all example numbers to make the math easy.
I appreciate what you're attempting to do, but there are many smart people who live in this diagram, and two smart people, I'll say their names, Neil Pepper and John Braun, went ballistic over the taxes, the equalization rate, the fact that we were paying much more taxes than somebody in West Turin. I mean, they just went ballistic, and they tied the assessor and they tied the town board up, and they got angst in people's meetings. I bet we had 30 public meetings, and no matter how much you try to explain it and how much logic you put in your explanation, they're going to see it a completely different way, and you're only going to excite trouble. That's my feeling.
So what do you suggest then? You just go
Let
ahead
the
with,
assessor do what he's doing. And the assessor,
you go ahead with the reval without saying anything to anybody then?
The assessor has the role of explaining to the people what he did and why he did it.
You let him get beat up.
And let him get beat up. That's just my opinion, but because
I know that the town of Loudville went through like a workshop at like the town hall when they did the revaluation.
we did
'Cause they wanted
workshops, we did them in the fire station, we did them in the pine tree, we did down here at meetings here. We tried to explain it in the simplest ways. And as soon as they saw their assessed value double on the bill, because that's what's gonna happen, everybody's assessment's gonna double.
Yep.
They're gonna come in and say, what the hell did you do to me? And then you're gonna say, we didn't raise your taxes, we only raised your assessment. your taxes are gonna stay where they were. It's a
Zero-sum game.
zero-sum game.
And on average. they
Not a
understand
single
it.
person's gonna believe you.
But yeah.
They are gonna be so freaking mad.
Because the other problem is everybody ties their assessment to what they can sell their house for.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna believe their houses are worth twice as much.
Well, no, that's not.
Until they're ready to sell
Well,
it.
people say that all the time. They get
Until
their,
they're ready. to
they get a
sell.
higher assessment and they go, I couldn't sell my house for that guy.
Well, that's what they say, but there's
Say,
three views
would
of
you
the
sell
house.
your house for that?
There's
Well,
three views of the house. There's your value, the bank's value, and the
Well,
assessment.
someone will actually pay too.
That's right, that's what true market value is.
Yeah.
I agree
Everything's
with
supposed
what
to
I'm
be based on market
trying to
value,
do.
but
And I also agree with what Tom's saying. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't do this, but yeah, you're gonna get people who are.
Holy
It's
smoke,
just like when you try to
are
present the information on the best,
You think
Yeah.
you
and
get
then people
angry
turn around and
down
say you're
there?
on the take, and it's like, wait a minute, I was just trying to give you some information up front.
Trying to be transparent.
So I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but.
Well, that would be one of the reasons I would vote for keeping it off Facebook, because you're gonna have keyboard warriors on there, and you're gonna have 500 zillion comments that aren't educated within 5 minutes,
That's a good point.
and they're just,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like inciting the mob, you know?
Holy Christopher. They would come
But-
down here.
I don't believe, like, we shouldn't put the information out there, but if they read it on the website, okay, but at least you aren't dealing with all the backlash unless they actually come here to the assessor.
But the only thing they're gonna see is my assessment double. That's all they're gonna see. The rest of it, all the logic, all the explanation in the world, just.
Yeah.
We had guys that we lowered their taxes by changing their assessed value, but their assessment went up 40-50%. They come in, scream, what are you telling me you lowered my taxes? Look at what you just did, you raised my house value. No, I'm telling you, everybody's.
Isn't that raising your equity?
when you're ready to sell it, we just did you a favor. Or somebody did.
It raises your borrowing power?
They don't understand what the equalization rate does. They think what's printed on the tax bill. Even though there's a column over here, it says this year's assessed value. Over here, it says 100% real market value on your tax bill.
Right.
But they don't see it that way, I guess. They never look at that number.
No, I'm sure.
I mean, I think the only thing we can stress, which you have in there as much as possible, is that your taxes should not go up
On average.
on average.
Should not on average, oh boy, should.
But what the E-rate does is everybody that lives on the road going into Glenfield gets raised at the same level as everybody at Branningham does. Now, what he's gonna do with the reval is that these people are gonna be made fairer, and the people up here are gonna absorb a higher amount even than they're currently paying. So the people on the lake are gonna go, and the people down here are gonna be treated more fairly. And the people at the lake are gonna just explode when the realization of the 50% E-rate, was spread across the whole town. Now, the majority of that is gonna go to them and not down here.
Well, the reality is, if you're buying a property, it's gonna cost you a lot more up there
Yeah,
than it is down here. They're worth a lot more.
True, but people up at the top of the hill are gonna see a much greater impact than the people down the bottom of the hill.
There's no doubt about it. And, rule of thumb, third have lower taxes, a third have higher, and a third stay the same. That's the rule of thumb. But on average, it stays the
So
same.
2/3 of the people will be okay.
Right.
Or maybe the most.
Can't ask for more than that.
But the people that are gonna be the angriest are the Neil Peppers and John Browns that live at the top of the hill.
Joe Brown's not around anymore, so we don't have to worry about him.
Neil Pepper doesn't much care, he's lost interest.
But there'll be somebody new on that.
There'll be somebody take their place.
There'll be Debbie Roses and.
There'll be,
Well, maybe that'd be good to get her mind off the best.
All right, so I definitely heard, let's put it on the website. Now, and Alan with plans and mail out is one page
Yeah.
thing, which, I've gone through it and suggested some edits. And he went through my presentation. and suggested some edits. But I really, it's kind of this is coming, right?
It's supposed to be coming every 3 years, isn't it? Like, in
Oh, we should
reality?
never have drifted to 57%. It should have.
No.
Oh, it should have been being.
Well, by the way, the state thinks it's 52%. The assessor is allowed to set it within 5% of what the state says. So he chose 57% to minimize the pain for us. But they're really thinking the state thinks it's
But
52.
the star exemption is based on the, the 57% cheats you out of star exemption, so it's better to come up closer to.
Yeah, well, and the other thing I found out is if you have a poor equalization rate, it will affect your bond rating, and therefore the cost of us taking bonds out to buy the trucks could go up.
Yeah.
So another reason.
Quick question.
Yes.
Have you seen any videos, YouTube or whatever out there that explain their evaluation process? Because that might be beneficial. Like, just, is there, a real quick,
Well, it's like the guy
Plain
explaining the
Jane.
benefits of tests.
well, people learn differently. Some people will look at the PowerPoint, some people will look it up, and some people will watch a video and go,
But I think we should get some information. I mean, if
But you're still.
the less information we put out there, people are gonna say we're blindsiding them if we don't put something out there. Even if they don't see it,
We're
we
still
still go
pretty
back and
far
say, well,
away
it was
from
there.
actually doing the reval. I mean, that.
you're trying to lessen the pain by shortening the time period.
He's not gonna get to it for 2 more years, I guarantee you. I mean, if you start making noise now, it might upset the crowd for no reason, because it's not gonna happen for another 2 years.
So you said the town of Watson's going first, right?
And then
And then,
us.
But he plays with those values and they don't take effect until the following year.
That's right. That's right.
When Neil Pepper went ballistic, I tried to sit with him logically in the house that was, and he paid far less in taxes. And I said, well, because if he went to sell his house in West Turn, he'd only get half of what you're gonna get.
Well, yeah.
There's a brand new. So, but if you equalized them, they were paying the same. I
Are you
mean,
gonna compare his house up there in the lake to a place up in West Turn?
no,
I mean,
he kept saying that his house is the same size as mine, it's
Well,
as
what they
nice as
do.
mine.
location,
Totally.
location. I mean, that is really real.
But I kept trying to tell Neil, now, if his house was valued at yours, the sale value was equal to yours, he'd pay exactly the same, whether he lived on West Turn or here, he'd pay exactly the same in taxes. And I showed him, he's paying the same exact school tax rate you are, the same exact county tax you are, and the town tax. And he wouldn't see it. And he was just blind to it. He was just enraged that,
Well, at the time he built that house, it was probably the nicest place on the lake, wasn't it?
yeah.
I mean, what did he
Plus
think?
it, he put the glass up on facing the lake, and he didn't have the right type of glass, so he ripped it down and rebuilt it again. It was an extra, almost $570,000 extra in replacing his glass. So he's got, $1.5 million.
I've never seen a lot of those places up, or worse places in West Turn.
Just 2 data points.
Oh, you're on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I apologize, Neil.
The
Brandon
Brandon
Brown's
Brown's
family.
and the Lily Pond represent 46% of the residential parcel value in town. So not including land or businesses or just, they represent 46% of the residential parcel value. They represent 25% of the parcel count.
That was kind of the argument. There were people who came from the Branningham area to argue against building the town hall because of the cost and what it was going to do to the taxes. When they're the ones that are paying the taxes, and a lot of them were seasonal, they could care less about this service or that service or this town hall. It's just kind of how it is.
And people over the age of 55 or people without children, shouldn't pay for school. You could make that argument. Anyway, just thought, no, those are the numbers. Right? They represent 46% of the town's value, but only represent 25% of the parcel, again, residential parcels in town.
And they don't even live there year round. I bet 60% of them don't live there year round either.
That's probably true.
Just the season.
Or more.
Okay.
But that's the thing, some of these towns don't have as many, not just seasonal people, but they don't have an area like a Branningham Lake
Or
that
like going to
distorts
church and
their, property values within the town like ours does. Yeah, or like Bonaparte. Yeah, you go out in the town of Diana outside of Bonaparte.
There's nothing. No. Maybe on the
Soft
Osagache,
maple.
you know.
But you go on some side road, it's just like, here, the value plummets.
So we plan on doing a lot of maintenance in the town park. We're gonna paint and do minor repairs to all three of the two buildings and the pavilion. They're all in need of paint. There's some rotting wood on the bathrooms that needs fixing. We're gonna do something similar up at the cemetery, Branningham Cemetery, which has the storage shed. We need to tear the storage shed down at Sands. It's just rotten. I don't think we have anything in it.
I'm like, is there anything in there?
I don't think so. If there was, there might have been a rusted out lawnmower when I went in there 2 years ago.
Is it classic now?
There's nothing in Branningham though.
There's a little bit of stuff stored, not much of anything. We put the trash barrels in there for the winter. There was a riding lawnmower in there, which isn't there anymore. I believe it's on Woodcock Road now.
How did that transfer take place?
I think it was the intention was for it to get fixed. So it could run.
When Bobby was there.
So, and then Tom has come up with a short list of things around here, like repainting the doors out here, doing something with siding. So I would like to add Lynn Rook to the workforce. She's already, I would like to add Lynn Rook to the workforce as a second maintenance person. Because our current maintenance person is also doing the dump, which consumes a bunch of his time during the summer, which is when we need to do this maintenance work. And plus, she's already doing it for free now, and that's not fair. Anyway.
She's Steve's wife or what?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know that she was here
She's a hard worker.
when I was
She
here
is.
working right alongside of him.
When they're helping with the floors and everything. Yeah. So, again, it would only be for the summer to augment our capabilities because, again, Steve's tied up at the dump for 12 hours a week. Everyone okay with that? Okay. Same rate of pay. Seems fair.
How many hours?
Yeah, I think we're talking certainly no more than 10 or 12 hours a week, if that.
Do we get paid around employment in the winter?
Good question.
It is a good question.
Do we pay unemployment by percentage, right? How do
Keep
we-
her employed all winter. She cleaned the bathrooms down there.
Then we'd have Steve unemployed. It's a good question. I'll ask that question. The answer is probably no. But I'll ask that question. But I will tell you who we are going to be paying unemployment for. Anybody? No? No.
Right, that.
You don't have to pay for felon. Our previous town assessor.
No.
Just got a notice.
Yowzy. Wow.
So I will set, I haven't heard back now. It's been over a month since I sent a letter complaining about the two we are already paying unemployment for, that they're not former employees. We are current employers of them. And I don't know why we're paying unemployment taxes for them. Because in the one letter back to me, it was like, well, you're former employee. No, they're not a former employee. They are an employee. I can show you the pay stubs. Haven't heard back. It's been a month. And I'll write a letter protesting this, saying that he had a contract, his contract wasn't renewed because of poor performance. Why are we paying, why should we pay unemployment?
I don't know, it seems like they don't really care.
They don't.
I had an intern with a set period of time, and it's only, for that period of time, and there's no full-time, transition after that. We've had it for Pratt Northern for years. And this one former employee applied for unemployment. I fought it, even the county attorney, and she still got funded unemployment for a position, even though the next year we also advertised for that position, that internship that's available.
Yep.
And she never applied, but she still got unemployment. I just don't understand.
I don't either. But, okay.
Work people.
I sent you the monthly report late, but I got it Sunday night, and I need a day to look at it and try to find the questions and things like that. We're still in good shape. Quick math says that if I take what's in the bank, not including the reserve funds, all right, just what's in the bank without the reserve funds, I assume that we spend everything we say we're going to spend, including the $35,000 in the contingent account. And then I assumed very conservatively what income we're left to get. The big hitter, of course, CHIPS, in which I'm assuming we're going to get that because we will get that. That's a big chunk of the remaining income for us to get. We have about $300,000 that will carry over to next year. So that will give us, funding we need to do some of this deferred maintenance, the stone at the cemetery type of thing. So I think we're in pretty good shape still. But again, this is only 5 out of 12 months. So the picture is good now. Hopefully it'll stay that way.
See what happens with Mike's trucks.
Yeah, right.
Are all of our reserve funds, do they go into the money markets to get interest? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we account for them separately, but they're all in that.
Right. They are what
noticed.
they get the majority of the interest that we make every month from the money market.
Right. That's right. I remember.
I did check on the rate. It's about 3.5%. I think we were just a little under what New York Class was paying. Like they were like 3.54, and I was estimating we were getting paid 3.5. So, I think we're still good staying at Community Bank and that money market. The central garage, I think we're gonna, we've got the problem at the park. We're gonna have to pay for it. I haven't got the bill from the plumber yet, or the electric bill. We've got higher electricity costs, right, that we're gonna have to account for. But I will say that our usage for the second month in a row is well down from what it was the year prior. So the LED lights are paying off here. So that's good. It's good to see, for sure. That bill came in on the town bar and electric bill, the $5,000 that we owe as our portion of that upgrade. Why they put it on that bill, I have no idea. But they did. So you'll go, what the hell is this when you pay the bill? What else? The Hometown Heroes banner. We hadn't really talked about funding that in the last year's budget, but again, it's not a huge expense. But so
when we get a little further along in the year, we get some of these actual numbers in, we'll have to do a budget adjustment there. Yeah, this is gonna need to increase the central government support, will increase because we are gonna do some more maintenance. It's gotta get done. And the boat steward thing, I told you, that's gonna end up going up by 600 or 750, but on the income side, we'll offset that, so it's not actually money out of our pockets. And then I will ask you, these are just, they should have gone against A instead of DA. So Franz will correct that in next month's. It could very well be when I paid the bill, I selected the wrong. When I marked the bill as paid in QuickBooks, I didn't look to see what account it was being paid from. But QuickBooks is really a pain in the butt. You schedule the bill and you say, this is the account that I'm scheduling, DA or A or this water fund. But when it comes time to mark the bill as paid, it doesn't default to what you scheduled the bill for. It defaults to what the last thing you entered was.
Oh,
So,
that's handy.
yeah, so you have to continually be checking that, which of course, having ADHD, I don't have ADHD despite my daughter's
Forget QuickBooks.
So, as I mentioned last month, Brian went from a single to a two-person plan. And so our costs went up by close to $1,000 a month for medical insurance. So I would like a motion to move, let me see that motion. To move $6,000 from DA 5130.2 into the medical account. I think we're in good shape with this equipment and capital outlay. Unless something really nasty happens, then we've got that reserve fund for big unplanned maintenance issues. But this is really for the purchase of equipment. But I don't want to use the contingent account yet. I want to try to fund it within the right account. Once we give DA money, we can't take it back. So if at the end of the year, we end up needing to put more money in this 5132, that's when we'll take it out of A and transfer.
So you're saying you want to keep it within the DA?
I'm trying to keep it in the DA as long as we can. Mike has been very good these last 2 years at underrunning his budget.
Yeah. I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Why don't you pay some, oh, can I have there's a clerk report. First, to approve my report, motion to approve my.
Motion to approve the supervisor's report as presented.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Clerk's report. I did get his check, by the way. There you go.
I mailed it out, emailed it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Questions?
I was personally insulted by the donation of $4.12. It's like, what kind of a donation is that? He explained to me that.
Actually, it was Liz Gilliam, who lives in the White House at the top of the park. She paid her tax bill and she had reserved the park. And she said, I've overpaid my tax bill, whatever the balance is, you can apply as a donation to the park. So it was $4.12. So then I went over there. It was her day to reserve the park because the pavilion wasn't totally powered. I think it was half powered. And I went down there just to kind of apologize for the condition of the park. And she had dragged a generator down from her house and she had a blow up thing for her kids, a bouncy house for her kid there. She said, I take care of it. Don't worry, I've taken care.
Those are the kind of people you like. It's like, okay, we'll solve the problem and deal with it. Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the clerk's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Let's pay the bills.
I just have a quick question. Somebody is interested in donating a bench to the park in a local town.
Okay.
So just give them your name, your contact information.
Oh, and the Lions Club also wants to donate a bench to the park, just for people to sit in while they're watching their kids. There's a-
It's not bad.
it's place to-
There's really no place to sit.
Because it's,
Right, yeah.
They're gonna put a bench that requires maintenance?
it is one of the Hollywood type benches.
Oh.
But they said it's made out of dark wood, so they said it should be put in the shade.
Yeah.
We don't have any shade trees down there.
Where are you gonna find the shade?
Huh?
I was gonna say, where are you gonna find the shade?
Actually,
There's that one
in the
tree.
White House.
There's that one little tree over
Taking it over. He's the one that planted the ones going down the road. Is that right?
We might want to think about putting some.
Is it on the front, just the?
Well, it depends if you're putting your volleyball court, your other court.
Bob, is this our list on the front of the folder?
No.
There's no list.
Oh, there's none in here.
I know one. Sitting on my desk.
I can't see that from here.
I'll shut the YouTube off on your back. Got a board for everybody.
Met your brother the other day.
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh, you had,
we were perk testing.
did they, he had to have it re-engineered?
No, he's trying to put a place in for his son next
Oh, so
door.
it was the new one. Did he tell you about his?
No.
His
Oh, yeah, he did tell me.
went bad.
He was having trouble with it. Yeah, he did mention.
And he was gonna have it. He said, do I have to get that all designed again? I said, nope. Had it done one time.
I think he said that, there weren't as many people there and it seemed to help a lot. Like his son wasn't living there all the time or something. Lighten the load on it, like, is what he was telling me.
I don't know. I wondered if they put plastic over the top of the chambers, because I've seen that done
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
At the highway.
I told them, I said, it sounds like to me that it might have been too deep and maybe it wasn't getting any oxygen or something.
He seemed to think it was getting overused because he had more people living there than he planned on having living there.
Well,
It wasn't there. I mean, the system should have been designed, so it should have been able to deal with it, but.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, they're still, they had, it basically was one extra adult